Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A foiled plot to kidnap and possibly kill Michigan's governor. 13 militia members arrested in a scheme that involved secret surveillance of the governor, rural training grounds, underground meetups, and talks to storm the Capitol.
When I put my hand on the Bible and took the oath of office 22 months ago, I knew this job would be hard. But I'll be honest, I never could have imagined anything like this.
It's being called an act of terrorism in the state of Michigan.
Tonight, we're learning more about the group's plot to overthrow the government and put Governor Whitmer on trial for treason. 6 men are accused in the kidnapping. Another 7 are accused of trying to target police in the state capitol. This is a look at 10 of the men who are right now facing charges.
It's an investigation that spans the state involving 200 law enforcement officers. Search and arrests warrants were executed in more than a dozen cities, including Canton, Clarkston, Shelby Township, and Waterford.
And it was being planned apparently for months. Here's a look at the timeline. According to investigators, in March, really the beginning of the pandemic, a militia group was brought to the FBI's attention. In June, members began meeting and recruiting others. By July, they were training with guns and attempted to make explosives, according to the allegations. Surveillance of the governor's vacation home was underway in August and September, and apparently they plan to carry out the attack this month. We've got complete coverage tonight at 11 with Jason Colthorpe with a look at where these men were training.
But we want to begin with Mara McDonald to take us through these stunning allegations, Mara.
Kimberly, in all, 13 men charged, and the reasoning behind their alleged actions, they were angry over the governor's executive COVID orders, which they viewed as tyrannical. The feds became aware of the various alleged plots early this year. The suspects are from Metro Detroit as well as the rest of the state. All either consider themselves part of the group Wolverine Watchmen or are affiliated with that group.
Adam Fox, Barry Croft, Ty Garbin, Caleb Franks, Daniel Harris, and Brandon Caserta conspired to kidnap the governor from her vacation home in the Western District of Michigan before the November election.
The feds raiding this mobile home in Heartland last night belonging to Ty Garbin, one of those accused, at the same time moving on this home in Waterford belonging to Caleb Franks.
And I just know that the FBI and the Michigan State Police worked incredibly hard in a coordinated fashion. This is unlike anything we've ever seen before. And the brave men and women of these two police organizations really put their lives on the line to keep me and my family safe. And I'm incredibly grateful and humbled by the work that they do.
The Department of Justice charging 6 in the Whitmer kidnapping plot. AG Dana Nessel charging an additional 7 with plots to attack the state capitol, target law enforcement officers, and instigate a civil war. We know at least 2 of those men, the Null brothers, attended a rally at the Capitol, which was used as a recruiting tool to find like-minded individuals who believed that Whitmer was violating the Constitution with her shutdown orders. The recruiting turned into in-person meetings, some, the feds say, taking place in the basement of this vacuum store in Grand Rapids, where Adam Fox, one of the key figures in the alleged Whitmer kidnap plot, lived. The FBI was listening to everything that was being said through 2 informants, and while there were original suggestions of storming the state capitol to take the governor, the men turned their eyes on her vacation home in northern Michigan as the kidnap location. She was then to be taken to Wisconsin to stand trial for what they viewed as her treason. Whitmer, for her part, is laying the blame on the president for the group's actions.
We know every time that this White House identifies me or takes a shot at me, we see an increase in rhetoric online, violent rhetoric. And so there's always a connection.
Back here live, if you look at that federal criminal complaint into the Whitmer kidnap plot, you will see that at least some of the members of that group were supposed to meet up yesterday to buy explosives and tactical gear. It's going to be interesting to see whether any sort of meetup actually happened. And Devin, Kimberly, I do think it is important to point out that the last time that the FBI and the DOJ charged a militia case in Michigan was 2010. It was a raid on what was called the Atari. They were a militia in Lenawee County accused of anti-government plots, of trying to kill police officers, planting bombs at police officer funerals and things of that nature. That case completely collapsed in federal court. We are live at the Capitol tonight in Lansing. Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Incredible. Okay, Mara, thank you. Also tonight, President Trump is reacting to the kidnapping plot.
Yeah, a little while ago, the president appeared in an interview with Sean Hannity on Fox News by phone, criticizing Governor Whitmer.
I see Whitmer today. She's complaining, but it was our Justice Department that arrested the people that she was complaining about. It was my Justice Department that arrested them. But instead, she goes and does her little political act, and she keeps her state closed, although we just won the big case, as you know, to open up Michigan, because what she's doing is a horrible thing to the people.
Before that interview, the president tweeted in response to the governor's comments, "I do not tolerate any extreme violence. Defending all Americans, even those who oppose and attack me, is what I will always do as your president."
Today, Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden also weighed in.
The senator talked to Gretchen, to the governor, earlier before I landed, and I talked to her. She's feeling secure and good, and I think that the FBI and others deserve a great deal of credit for what they've done.
The FBI says the group used a rural area in Jackson County as a training ground to run through scenarios.
The Munith property was home to 2 of the militia members. Jason Colthorpe with new insight into some of the men involved from their neighbors and what we found on social media.
This was a training center in the sense that, yes, many of them met here. In fact, neighbors saw dozens of men in their military fatigues out here, and they often heard shots fired, but not very high tech. All you have to do is look at the tires behind me. That was actually a makeshift shooting range.
Beautiful country out here, and then all of a sudden, out of the peace and quiet, bam, 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 for hours.
Pam Karshnock lives next door to the home on Dunn Road in Munith that was raided early Thursday. Many neighbors had been fed up with all the shooting there in recent months.
I was going to confront him a couple times. My husband said, no, don't. That's why people move to the country, yada, yada. And I thought, well, in the times we've got with the gun rights and so on, I better not say anything.
She and everyone else came to learn today this was much more than just some guys firing automatic weapons when the men who lived there, Pete Musico and his son-in-law Joseph Morrison, were arrested in a terror plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer.
I'm still shaking. I'm still shaking knowing it was that close to me, and just thinking back to the times I almost approached them to ask them to stop.
There's hundreds of millions of other people in this country that think the same way I do.
The 42-year-old Musico has posted several videos on YouTube sharing his disgust with the government at all levels.
We're tired of it. We're tired of the tax to fix things when the taxes are already there to fix things. The money needs to go where it's supposed to and not into politicians' hands.
In addition to the shooting, neighbors had seen several men in militia fatigues at that home on Dunn, and just yesterday, something more than gunshots.
Yesterday, my husband heard a boom, so apparently that was the IED being tested, but it shook our windows, and it kind of, scared us.
Just, you can imagine what neighbors are thinking out there. A lot of them wouldn't even go on camera with us or give us their names because they're afraid of that. Now, we should point out the feds, according to the feds in that affidavit, Morrison and Musico are the founding members of the Wolverine Watchmen, an anti-government, anti-law enforcement militia. Devin.
So, Jason, are there any more to that property where they may have trained or practiced all of this?
It's only an acre, so no, there really isn't anything beyond that, although that doesn't mean they haven't tried to use it as such. Another neighbor told us that their neighbor was out walking, has an adjacent property walking. The bullets suddenly were flying by him, hitting trees, and it come to find out they were just shooting randomly using that as a target range until they told them to stop that. So no, just an acre of property, Devin.
Yeah. All right, Jason. Now, militia groups certainly aren't new to Michigan, but one expert says they are growing here and across the country. Amy Cooter from Vanderbilt University explains one possible reason why.
So I think generally these groups are growing. What's kind of interesting is that most of them don't hold active recruitment efforts, that instead it's other people who largely agree with their ideology, feeling spurred into action, feel like they need to reach out and join a group like this. because those concerns are getting bigger or have been activated by one particular social moment.
Cooter believes this group may have broken off from a larger group that didn't want to go as far.
As you can imagine, law enforcement gets a front row seat to some extreme cases.
Former U.S. Attorney Barbara McQuaid admits, though, this case even surprised her.
I certainly didn't see this coming. It's shocking anytime you hear about a plot to harm anyone, let alone the governor of our state. So it was very surprising.
Our coverage continues on clickondetroit.com. You'll find a deeper dive into the investigation, how the FBI was able to uncover it, and what we know about the men charged. We will, of course, continue to monitor any developments overnight. Join Rhonda and Evrod tomorrow morning for Local 4 News Today, starting at 4:30.
All right, more breaking news tonight. A man has been killed and another hurt in a shooting at Eastland Mall in Harper Woods. We're told an employee found the body of a 19-year-old in the parking lot. He was shot in the head. An 18-year-old man in a car was also found shot in the head. He was taken to the hospital and is in serious condition. Police think a third victim may be involved. Witnesses saw a black GMC Terrain leaving the scene. Harper Woods police say if you know anything, give them a call.
Has the president been cleared to campaign?
Well, President Trump gives an update on his health and says when he's expecting to be back in front of crowds again.
Also, it's one of the last industries to reopen in Michigan. But tomorrow, movie theaters will welcome customers again. We'll have a look at what's changing. Here comes Ben.
Devin, we are getting our latest update on Hurricane Delta as it closes in on the Gulf Coast. Plus the latest on our forecast as we head towards at least the start of a nice weekend. More on that ahead.
But first, she was accidentally declared dead and it wasn't discovered until she was nearly embalmed. Now her family is going after the city of Southfield. That's next.